I had raised James, so I thought I would be ready for anything from my grandson Will. But I wasn't daft enough to think that it would be easy. The world changes so fast. I remember the family visiting me when Will was a teenager. Do you know Al Martino's Here in My Heart? He had such a lovely voice. It was playing when Robert first kissed me. Robert would hum it to me sometimes. My husband Robert was a writer, like Will. I think they would have loved talking. Maybe Will's interest would have inspired Robert to push a bit harder in his work. I went to visit family in New Zealand after James left home. It was a very long trip. I could only make it once. It's such a shame to be so distant from family. I liked to go down to Brighton, to the seaside, and I would buy a new glass animal every time I went there, collecting them. Everyone should have a hobby, I think. Back then, Diana had just done that interview, and so we were all waiting for the divorce. There was no way we thought that they could stay together.
I think it's sad. She was bullied into all of this from the beginning.
The rest of the conversation didn't go well. Will frustrated me so much. I told you before that Sharon is American. She didn't say anything, which was probably a blessing, really. James took Will's side on it all. He always would be difficult in those kinds of things. I wish I hadn't even tried. They didn't want to hear my views. I said that I was going to make some tea. No one offered to help. Was it childish? I don't think any of us wanted tea, but I didn't want to talk to them anymore. I suppose all this seems like a strange thing to remember, but it was a sad day for me. James and Sharon both held their own views. I knew that. But Will... There wasn't any choice in my day. But it gave me a quiet life. That was good enough. These days it's easier to be different, to forge your own path or something like that, and everyone else be damned. I wish Will understood that you've got to fit in to get along in life. I was scared for him. He had all these views about things, and it was dangerous. Will was only at the start of his life, but those years are so important. I wanted him to keep his head down, not start arguments. I stood there, waiting for the tea to brew. And I found myself crying, standing in the kitchen like a silly old what's-it. He was going to go off with views like that and get in trouble, and I couldn't do a thing. I knew something had been broken that day between Will and I. I took a deep breath and pulled myself together. It doesn't help anything to let others see you get upset. I've lived alone since a little time after Will was born. That was when Robert passed away. I missed him, of course. Yet it was tolerable until then. But then, after we disagreed, I felt so distant from them all. It was terrible. I know I'm from a different generation with different values, but I don't think they're all wrong. I wasn't prepared to accept that Will wasn't going to talk to me anymore. His views, I felt he was putting his future at risk. Those views, liberalism and such like, I knew he would change his mind as he got older. But before he changed, what damage would he do to his options? I felt uneasy about that Christmas. We would be together all day. I was down in the dumps, to be honest. It was good to keep busy making the place look nice. I kept in touch with a lot of friends. We didn't have email, of course, but even now they just aren't as good as a real letter. Will went off to university, but I clearly remember the Christmas that he and the family came home. I'd been told that Will was going to bring a girlfriend, Sarah. It was important to make a good impression. My family arrived just as the Christmas lunch was ready. It was perfect timing. It was lovely meeting Sarah. She was a little shy, I think. She said a little about what she was studying and how happy she was with it all. She made a very good impression. I hadn't seen Will since he left. I wanted him to understand I wanted the best for him. I always wanted that, no matter if he disagreed with me. James is most definitely Robert's son. Kind, but capable of so much more than he does. When Sharon took Will to America, he was only 10. Like most boys, he wasn't much of a letter writer. She took him away from us for 3 years, and I barely saw him. Will was a perfect gentleman. He was so courteous and attentive.
Thanks.
It filled me with pride and hope to see him that day. He was becoming the man I had hoped he would be. With Sarah, I hoped he would be on track to a normal life. But that was the last time I saw her. The next summer, I went to visit Will at university. It's only civil to arrive on time for your appointments, so I started the drive down to see him with plenty of time to spare. I ended up being rather early, and it was my first visit to the campus, so I went for a walk. The old buildings there are lovely. So many excited young people about the place, and such beautiful girls, all full of pep. I was also hoping I might see Sarah again. University wasn't a normal option for people in my time, and I never went. A solid education helps to improve a person. I saw Will before he saw me. He was a short distance away, and I couldn't make out what he was doing. Then I saw that he was holding hands with a man. And then they kissed, out in the open where anyone could see. He went and did that after everything I had tried to teach him. I knew that all those liberal views would get him in trouble. I left right away. I couldn't think of a single thing I could say to him. Will didn't see me. What was I supposed to do? Act like everything was going to be okay for him? He was so young. He didn't see the trouble he could get into if he kept doing that sort of thing. Suddenly, the university seemed ugly, obscene. All that sense of entitlement, but no appreciation. My generation worked so hard trying to raise up our country, and this was what happened to the grandchildren. It was all a waste. After everything I had done for him, he was doing that, putting himself in danger. I felt so angry with him and with everyone there. That sort of thing. It all just feels wrong to me. Sorry, but that's just the way I feel about this.